Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching Access Hockey MI. We are always laughing when we start, okay?
That's true. She always does something.
Sorry. Today we're going to talk about Taro Hirose, and he might be someone you've never heard us talk about, probably because we rarely talk about him. And I think we're guilty of not paying enough attention to him because there's been so many first-rounders. It's a big season for the Red Wings development. Taro Hirose is undrafted, and we've been watching him from season start until now with the Griffins, and he's played with the Red Wings too. But we wanted to kind of canvas his development, do a prospect update. He's a prospect of sorts because he's, making a case for the Red Wings just like the rest of the team is as well. So why don't we get started?
So we picked up Hirose out of the collegiate circuit, Big Ten to be specific. He was the alternate with MSU 2018-19. He had 3 seasons with MSU. He did really well in his last season. He had 50 points in 36 games when we picked him up. So he never actually finished his collegiate career, which he seems fine with.
But he might go back. And
it's a fantastic school for hockey. But he was doing really well with it there. So when Detroit picked him up, they plopped him right in Detroit. He had played 10 games, got a couple points in those games. So he immediately came out with a bit of an edge, and everyone was really excited about him. So fast forward to this season, he started in Detroit. He did not notch as many points as he had wanted to.
I would say it was 7 points in 26 games. I would say that's pretty good for pretty much a rookie. Coming from NCAA to NHL, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's all right. But the team was not, I guess, overwhelmed, and the team itself has been struggling this season too. So the move that he was actually sent back to Detroit in December, and there's been a few call-ups and stuff since then, but since December, he has consistently played with Grand Rapids. He's going to be on his 27th game here shortly before they hit the road. And he's been averaging almost a point a game since then. So he's been kind of like subtly developing.
He's under the radar, I would think, right now because of his development. And I do think so many people have their eyes on Moritz Seider, Joe Veleno, first rounders, and Evgeny Svechnikov, these guys who we have expected a lot from.
Kind of household names.
And I think he's kind of coming in under the radar, and we're guilty of not watching him as much. But ever since we realized we weren't watching him as much and watching him, we've seen all the little
laser vision,
right?
So focused.
We've seen all the little things that he has done as far as growth, and I would say special teams is a big one for sure.
Huge. He's been getting a lot more ice time on the special teams, so the penalty and the power play units. Grand Rapids is doing pretty well in those categories right now. But Hirose, his big thing is he is a playmaker, and if there's ever a time to be a playmaker, it's on the special teams. So he's been working really well. He seems to be pretty fluid with the players he's put with. I wouldn't say there's much consistency between like what unit he's on, but he's out there. He's getting that ice time.
I would say a little bit. He does try to do a lot by himself. He reminds me in his play kind of Andreas Anthony, who doesn't, he's NHL level, of course. I think Hirose probably has a better attitude, ideally. So, note there. But I do think his just attitude on the ice and his ability to get the puck in difficult spots and weave through guys, that's one thing that, especially on special teams, even in regular play, 5-on-5, he's really good at getting the puck in and getting it to the boards and making plays.
And even on even strength situations, his playmaking has improved and has gotten stronger. That was one thing that I know the staff in Detroit wanted him to work on. They wanted him to be a little bit more independent, a little bit more courageous when making those rushes and not having to rely so much on bigger bodies. He's, I think, in the last few weeks especially, we've seen him taking a lot more chances and being a lot more aggressive with those opportunities. And
I think it does come from this Griffins playoff push, and everyone on the team has a certain confidence, I've noticed, ever since we had just really kicked it into full gear, being in such a tight playoff push in the Central Division right now. It's really necessary to play 110% every game. And I think that everyone playing for each other has really encouraged player like Taro Hirose to get out there and put as much forward as everybody else is. And I don't even think it's 100% to impress people. I just think that's the kind of player he is. He wants to give 110%. So one improvement that we would see he needs is his overall strength. He's kind of small and that's something that you grow in. It's a developmental league.
It's
you're supposed to, you're supposed to get weight there, and you're supposed to get better in your skill. And I think that's just one thing he's got to do for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the other big things along with that, I think it kind of coincides, is just gaining more confidence. He's not by any means not confident in himself or his ability, but just continuing to step in that direction where he knows he can take the shot. He knows he can make this play and get the puck out. Whatever it is that he's got to do, he's got to have that ability to grow into confidence and his stamina as well. Like we said, he came out of college. They're shorter seasons, so he's even said himself, it is challenging. It's, physically demanding.
They're put in situations they weren't put in before in the college level. And I think many of the college players that we've talked to this season already have just said how, it is really just a matter of being in it and submerged in it. And then you learn what you can do. You learn what you maybe didn't know you could do. Learn what you shouldn't do. It works both ways. And I think that this college, he's coming from undrafted, from college, up into play into a league that he hasn't played in before, just like Chase Pearson and Dominic Shine had to go through and are going through. It's just those differences and the subtle changes that need to be made.
And coming into the playoffs, too, it's a completely different animal. They all know that. They've got, I think, a pretty fair chance. This team is different than the one we saw last season, just the chemistry and how they've been conducting themselves and coming together. And Hirose's a big part of that, too.
Yeah, we've heard it said in the back end interviews that they don't go into a game thinking there's even a chance of losing, like we're going to win. And even when they're down, we can still win this. And that's a very important attitude to have going into the playoffs. So if you haven't watched him yet, Taro Hirose is a big name to watch. I think he has a good case too. He needs a little bit more development. Of course, this is his first, I would say, full season.
First full season,
Well, first, he's in development still. But I think that the Red Wings, if they keep him on, I think they can have a pretty strong winger for their team in the future. So if you haven't watched him yet, check out some Griffins games. It's very important to watch these games because that's how you see how they're developing. That's how you learn the team.
We're not going to stop harping on you.
You got to watch them. You have to watch them because one day the Red Wings aren't going to look anything like what you're used to. And then you're not going to know who these guys are.
Some of the collegiate games, it's good for comparison, like we said last week. Make sure you watch the old and the current. You want to see those developmental changes and make sure you're educated.
Yeah, so educate yourselves and comment below what you think of Taro Hirose. If you think that we missed something or if you think he needs a little bit more development in a certain area, let us know. If you haven't heard about him and this is the first you're hearing about him, let us know as well. And if you have any other questions, we'd love to talk to you, so let us know that as well.
Let us know all the things.
Thanks so much for watching as always, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.